Hello, I am Neeru Saxena, Assistant Professor in School of Computer Science. Today I am going to discuss about the arrays in C. Now what are arrays? Arrays are nothing but the collection of similar data types that store at the similar data items that is stored at the contiguous memory location. Now, arrays are derived data type in C programming language that can be stored the primitive types of data such as int, char, float, double, etc. Now, what do you mean by similar data type? That means if we declare the array of integer type, that means all values stored in arrays will be of integer type. If we declare the float type of data type, then all the values stored in the array of float type. Now, what do you mean by contiguous memory location? Contiguous memory location means the value will be stored one after the other. Now, this capability to store the collection of derived data types such as pointer, structure, etc. can be dealt with the arrays. Now, we can say array is nothing but the simplest data structure where each data element can be randomly accessed by using its index number. What do you mean by randomly accessed? That means the value that are stored one after the other. But if we wanted to access the value at say fourth element value, then we can be able to access through the index number. Now, there must be some advantages of using array. Definitely, the advantages of using array are it can be able to store the similar type of elements. Similar type, as I told you, that if we declare the integer type of array, all the values stored in the array will be of integer type. Now, if I take the example that suppose we wanted to store the 10 students' marks. So, for storing 10 students' marks, we have to declare 10 variables. Now, to deal with 10 variables, that will be a tedious job. Now, after a certain period of time, the student may increase. That may increase from 10 to 40. Now, for 40 student recording data or storing data, we have to declare 40 variables. Now, it is very difficult to deal with the variables like this. Now, the shortest way to deal with this in C is arrays. Now, C can be able to store all the not only 10, 40 student, 100 student data in a single variable. Then there is no need to define different variable for doing or storing the different marks of 40 student. Now we define one array and that can be able to store the marks of each subject at the contiguous memory location. What are the properties of array? The properties of array are, suppose we declare the data type integer data type or float data type or the char data type. Now each element of an array will be of same data type. Like if we say int, so all values stored in the array will be of integer type. If we declare it as char, then all values stored in that array will be of character type. Similarly with the float. Now, how the size will be defined of a particular element or the array? The size of the element will be of integer, whatever the type of the data type which we have declared. The value will be stored of the same data type like integer. And what will be the size of integer? It is of 2 bytes. That means each element. Each index number or each element will occupy or will take 2 bytes of size. Now, element of the array are stored at contiguous memory location, where the first element is stored at the smallest memory location. Now, what is the smallest memory location? The smallest memory location is also known as the base index, that starts from 0. And contiguous memory location, suppose we declared the array of character data type. That means character occupies 1 byte. The next contiguous memory allocation will be if base address is the memory location of base address is 101. The next contiguous location will be 102. If we declare it as the integer data type, so from 101 The integer data type, integer means 2 bytes. The next contiguous memory allocation will be 103. If we talk about the float, float occupies 4 bytes. That means next memory allocation or next memory location will be 101 plus 4, that is 105. So that is known as the contiguous memory location. Now, it's not the thing that all the values are contiguously allocated and we can be able to make the sequential search to access the element. No, we can be able to randomly access our element wherever the value has been stored. Suppose I wanted to see the fourth location data, fourth location element, then I can be able to access through the index number. We have to calculate, and at the same moment of time we can be able to calculate the address of each element. How it can be calculated? Now it will be calculated through the base address plus the size of the data element. If it will be of character, then plus 1. If it is integer, plus 2. If it is float, plus 4. Now what are the advantages of array? Number 1 is code optimization. What do you mean by the code optimization? That means by declaring the array, we have to write the less code to access the data. How? If we talk about the variables, that means 10 student, 10 variables. But if array, one array can be able to solve the purpose of 10 elements. So we are definitely optimizing our code and reducing our length of code for doing my work. Second advantage is ease of traversing. Ease of traversing means how we can be able to move from one element to another. Now that can be done through loops. Loop in C can be of 3 types: for, while and do while. I can be able to use any type of loop over here to access or to traverse my element, and we can be able to retrieve any value, any element value very easily by randomly accessing the data or by sequentially accessing the data. Sorting. We can be able to sort our data. How it can be done? Sorting can be done very easily by comparing our first element with the next element. If any place the value is bigger, lower in the next element and bigger at the first element, we just swap the element's value from one place to another. That way we can be able to sort my data very easily. As I told you that it's not mandatory to have a sequential search. We can be able to make random access through our array element very easily. If we are having advantages, we are having disadvantages also. Now what are the disadvantages of array? Array is of fixed size. Once array is of fixed size, whatever be the size, we define at the time of declaration of the array, and once the type and the size has been declared, we cannot exceed the limit and we cannot grow apart from this side. So in that manner, arrays are having little bit disadvantage. That means we have to decide about the size, and we can just define the size. Definition of the size at the declaration of an array can be done, and we cannot be able to exceed with that size, and this is of fixed size. How the arrays can be declared? The arrays can be declared by using the syntax data type, array name and array size. Data type means float, int or char. Array name, it can be user defined, mark in our case, and the size, it's again user defined. What is the need of the application? In my case, it is 5. Now, array mark is declared with a float type and sizes of 5 elements. That means what? The size and the type of array will not be changed once it is declared, and I can be able to store 5 element value that will be of float type. So this is the way we can be able to declare my arrays.